What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Photoshop Masterclass course. We are continuing on right here. We are going to be tackling drawing and erasing. Now, drawing and erasing is almost entirely done through the brush tool, aka the brush tool and pencil tool, and also the eraser tool. Now, the eraser tool is a little bit more all-encompassing. It's something that even if you're not doing lots of drawing-based stuff, you'll still be experimenting with the erase tool. And by experimenting, I mean fully incorporating into your projects, because stuff needs erasing every now and then, more than it needs drawing on. So that's what I'm saying. You'll be using the eraser tool more than the brush tool if you're doing sort of similar stuff to me. But let's go over to our blank canvas here, and let's demonstrate the brush tool. Now, brush tool has a couple different aspects. Obviously, brush size. We notice it's at about 32 right now. If we could bring it up to maybe 100, we're seeing that it increases. So if we actually start using it, it is obviously going to be drawing stuff at the brush size. Now, it's also got different textures and qualities to it. So we have soft round and hard round. These are just different qualities of the brush. You see the hard brush is hard edges, and the soft brush is soft edges, meaning that it's sort of a little bit more faded, as you see. It's less straight, less bold in your face, right? Now, also brushes, you have a whole bunch of different ones. You've got a whole bunch of different presets. You've even got the ability to download custom brush packs off the internet and use stuff like that, right? As we see, this one's kind of like a checkered one. Photoshop give you a couple cool ones already. But that right there is the brush tool. The pencil tool, literally practically identical to the brush tool. It's just a smaller edge, right? So whereas before it was, going a little bit crazy, now I'm able to actually, write my name a little bit better. And, just like that, bada bing, bada boom, we've been able to use the pencil tool. Very, very straightforward. Now, those two, honestly, they're stuff that you will be using lots if you are maybe doing more cartoonist stuff, but a lot of the time you'll be using, an actual handheld pen to be drawing that stuff based on the fact that you've probably got some sort of sketch pad, but you'd still be using the brush tool and the pencil tool. But overall, unless you're doing more cartoonish stuff like that, personally, I don't use the brush tool too much other than filling in areas. So maybe up here, right? So what I might do is I might use the ellipse tool. I might get that section right there, and I might make sure I got the right brush, not some random custom brush, right? You see right there. But I might get the soft round tool, and I might, draw that. And just like that, you saw how quickly I was able to do that. With the brush tool, I'm able to completely erase that section up there and make it look like the window was never there, right? And alternatively, right? So say I actually had another layer, and I didn't do that on my background layer, and I did that. And then maybe I regretted it, maybe 10 moves down the road. So it wasn't really just an easy option to just copy Control Z and undo. I would get my erase tool, and I'd of course increase the the size, and I could actually go ahead and erase that because it is on a different layer right there. So make sure that if you're doing something that you might want to change later, you're doing it on a whole different layer, because it's going to single that out and it's going to make it doable, right? So for example, if I'd have done that here, I would be erasing literally the background, right? I'd be erasing, I'd be fully erasing the image, and it would be transparent. So Control Z, I'm going to undo that. Overall, that right there is the eraser tool and the good old-fashioned brush tool done and dusted. There's stuff that we're going to be using a little bit, but overall, in terms of our, our daily application, the brush tool, at least in my opinion, is not something that we are going to be utilizing too much. But then again, we'll probably surprise ourselves, and I'll eat my words a little bit later. But that's the main stuff that I use it for, filling areas in, etc. That right there is drawing and erasing covered. Moving on to masking with the pen tool coming up next. Let's do it.